Tennessee baseball loses, why that's good for the Vols. It is bank on it right now. Brought to you by Commercial Bank. Commercial Bank, member FDIC, life made better. Commercial Bank, CBTN.com. I think this Tennessee baseball team, and it hasn't been that long since, was it 2022 when they had a team of a bunch of machismo egos that probably took things a little bit too far, especially the middle finger going up to the center fielder as the young man rounded second base. And I think that it undermined them later in the season, and they ended up falling short in the College World Series. Now, last year, you had a baseball team that was much more mature. That's what Tennessee needs this year. And I think by losing to ETSU as they did, Tennessee, and I'm going to tell you why, will actually be a better baseball team moving forward. Now, let's remember they were 20-0. They're about to face Florida. I'm sorry, they beat Florida last week and they play Alabama. Both are top 10 teams. So my theory will be put to test pretty quickly. But I think losing to ETSU is a good thing. It's Bank on It, brought to you by Commercial Bank.
Commercial Bank is your neighborhood bank. What makes us different from other banks? We understand that every customer has unique opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. We don't expect you to fit into the same box as the next person or business. Whether it's purchasing a home, saving for your child's future, or planning for your next vacation, we're with you every step of the way to navigate life's big decisions. Commercial Bank. Life.
All right, Caleb, I'm not going to get into the particulars of who Tony Vitello selected to pitch on Tuesday. I'm not going to pretend to know every pitcher from top to bottom on their roster. But I'll say this, and it's the same thing with the reason that I thought Pete Rose should never be in the Hall of Fame. You sometimes have to lose a game early in the season to win more games later in the season. So if Tony Vitello said, I'm not going to go all out and I'm not going to throw another arm out there, I'm going to let this game play out and let my young men work through it. And you'd never want to lose. But if you lose and you get focus in a game like baseball, I mean, you would never want to lose in football to have a learning lesson. But it definitely could be a wake-up call for the team that was considered the consensus number one team in the nation. Caleb, I go back to, and I think you've referenced this, the New England Patriots or UNLV, two teams that went into the championship game, the Super Bowl in Patriots' case, with undefeated records. There's so much pressure at that point, and the pressure mounts. I think losing to ETSU is a good thing, and you'll never hear me say losing is a good thing.
No, I agree. And let's be clear, you're right. Because of pitching, baseball does not work nearly the same as other sports. I mean, you're not gonna get, a lot. You can lose baseball games that happen. I mean, honestly, this is, for those who don't know, this happens in college baseball more often than not. Top 5 teams get upset by a completely forgettable fall out of bed team they should beat in the middle of a week between SEC games. That happens all the time in college baseball. It's not like college basketball. If Tennessee basketball is number 1 and lost to ETSU, you'd be like, oh, kind of a problem, right?
Yes, that would be a problem.
Yeah. But this happens regularly in baseball. It's the one sport where upsets, baseball and hockey, upsets are more common in those two sports than any other sport. Let's just talk about it. There's more randomness in those sports. Luck has a bigger factor in determining a winner than skill in those sports. Is that fair to say?
Yep, absolutely.
So yes.
Where are you going? Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm with you. Losing to ETSU is not a big deal because of that. It does help them refocus. And you're right. When you're on a mission beyond just winning, it really hurts you. You bring up the Patriots. Funny enough, it wasn't just them going undefeated. Remember Spygate happened in the opening week that year?
Yes.
And Bill Belichick was on a mission to humiliate the whole league because he got caught. And
I didn't really draw that conclusion, but I'm not arguing.
Oh, they were running up the score constantly. He wanted Tom Brady to break Peyton Manning's touchdown record so bad. He was throwing fades on the 1-yard line half the time. So they were going out of their way to absolutely humiliate the entire league. And it got them when they got to the Super Bowl when, guess what? The Giants played a type of game, Dave, where you couldn't really humiliate them, kind of in a dogfight. All of a sudden, you're not really winning the way you wanted to win, and it backfires and you lose. That happens all the time in sports.
And if I can say this to your point too, the Patriots in that game didn't run the football enough. Basically, the Giants had 4 defensive ends.
Yeah.
They were very light up front.
They just did a bunch of stunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree. So
they kind of did, if you think about it, what Tennessee did to Florida in 2001. They weren't prowler package standing up like 2-point stance, but
Dave, I'll go further
They were
than that.
stunning and twisting a lot. Go ahead.
Dave, the reason Spurrier only has 1 national title is Spurrier was on such a mission to humiliate his opponents that if he got stuck in a grinded out game, he kind of didn't know what to do.
Okay, let's stay on topic.
No, I'm just saying, but that's that baseball. You're right. The 2022 team was on such a mission to humiliate everybody. I think this one needs a little bit of humble pie. I agree. I don't think it matters. Another one you missed is Kentucky in basketball 2015 when they went undefeated the whole season. They get to the Final Four and Frank Kaminsky outplays Karl Anthony Towns under the basket. Not Karl Anthony Towns' fault. John Calipari doesn't know how to say, "Hey, pass the ball to your big man who's going to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft." That didn't process in his mind. But either way, you're right. Losing these type of games helps. I think Tennessee, they were in danger. Put it this way. They were kind of getting dangerously close to being the 2022 team again with how good they were. Is that fair to say?
How good they were, I haven't seen any cockiness from them though.
Right, but it's hard. You can get. Can I do a Star Wars reference?
I love Star Wars. Just don't do Harry Potter. That's
okay. When Anakin in the prequels is like more skilled than every Jedi ever, right?
Yeah, he's super skilled.
Super skilled, falls to the dark side, which, by the way, he can embrace his power more. And he's like, this dude can overthrow the Emperor. He's going to become like king. He fights Obi-Wan. He's so convinced he's so skilled that when Obi-Wan has the high ground, he says, "You underestimate my power."
This is the second time you've used this analogy. But anyway.
And he jumps up and Obi-Wan slices his arm and 2 legs off. What I'm saying
Other than that, he was good to go.
By the way, what did Obi-Wan say when he saw Darth Vader 20 years later and they fought in A New Hope? He said, "Nice suit, Anakin. Must have cost you an arm and 2 legs to get."
Good. Okay, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that, yeah, you need this. We're keeping it simple. Overconfidence. You don't want overconfidence. You need a little bit of a flame out. And particularly in baseball, you need some humble pie, because what you don't want is to be the Braves of the 90s and the 2000s and beat up on a weak division your whole time, and then you get to the playoffs and you lose in the first round every single time with Bobby Cox.
A Dave Concepcion reference in the message board for some reason. I have no idea why that's the case, but I like it.